join us. I'm assuming you have a copy from the town council.
Yes. Yeah, I got it 2 days ago. Yeah.
So did we. That helps.
I'm not the only one.
You're not the only one. We didn't. Nothing
That's
was
fine.
held back.
You know what? It's all gonna work out, so it's fine.
I think so too.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. Thanks. I made some copies and drawings, but I made them so you guys, they're kind of big, so I guess you could put, it might be easier if they just do 2 on each of you. But
Yeah, that's all
I
right.
got as many as you want. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. You guys want the maps, or should I go through this first? You tell me.
It's a site plan?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should look at that.
What I did was I took some of the existing ones and then I put all my own stuff on. I took one from the original back in '74, and then I took one, the last one that was done in 2012, and then I made all the changes that we were, there's no changes really.
There's a site plan from 2012?
Yes.
Okay.
There's actually a few of them. So what I did, you want me to put these here?
More important than commission season.
Yeah.
Do you guys want me to just lay it out? It's up to you.
Yeah, why don't you put them like right here?
They're really kind of, you know, it's like they're kind of one. This was the older one. This was the newer one.
The most recent one, this one.
Yeah, but this one had all the elevations, and nothing's changed. Nothing has changed. So nothing. Doing the existing poles, the existing lights, the existing sign, everything is the same. I just laid out parking spots.
Well,
And on this,
you still have, we still have a 50-foot, there's still technically a 50-foot, that didn't go away.
Then I misunderstood you. I thought if we were doing new, then there was no 50 foot, because only if it was existing.
It's 50 foot on the property, and the town attorney said it's still on there,
Well, this
unless we,
in 2000.
hopefully we're gonna work out a compromise so everyone's happy.
Okay, in '74, when they went from a new used car to new, I have an approved. They sent me an approval. I found it, and then this one was approved with the parking right up to the street, or up to the island, I should say.
Because nobody knew what they were doing. Seriously.
So they
50
paved
foot.
50 feet of park that they can't use. Is that what?
Well, 50 feet is from here. So up to where up to where the curb is now from the street up there is about 20 feet, I think.
Yeah, I thought that. I measured. It's exactly. Sorry, if I measured, this was exactly 16 feet curb to curb.
Yeah, so I pasted. So
Okay.
we're close.
Okay.
And so your 50 foot's up here. So,
So when they approved that in '74, that was wrong.
well, they didn't change it on the thing.
Okay.
So
Oh.
technically it was still on there.
All right. Well, whatever you want me to do.
I know what they did.
Okay.
Well, I would, again, this is for everyone to talk about, but I would go for 30, 35 feet and then some kind of a vegetation buffer.
Well, I'll go through everything I'm already going to do, but what I did was I thought I've got all kinds of plants to go. That's what I did. I wrote down the plants, which ones I'm going to use, how I'm going to plant them, all of that in the island. I wasn't going to get rid of the parking lot. You're talking 35 feet from where.
I don't know if you can put anything in here. I don't know what the rules are as far as the state. I think you're gonna, wherever the line is, I mean, the idea of the buffer is that we don't necessarily want to see everything that's in the parking lot. That's the whole idea of the buffer.
Oh, well, you know what?
And I know that's what you're selling off the parking lot, but your sign is going to tell people what you're selling, let's just say.
Right. Well, here's what I did.
It's not like you have a lot of antique Corvettes out there that we're hiding.
Well, I actually have a few.
Okay, well, then
put
we
some-
should put those on the roof.
Actually, they could put it with some inside. But no, see, I mean, the only thing I was looking at was, I mean, I bought pictures of how they did it, and I get, again, like you said, maybe they were doing it incorrectly. I just went back and did Google Earth on how the last few parking lot, few times they did it. And then I searched it, and I'll show you. And obviously, if it doesn't matter to you.
I know, well, I went out there, I saw it, I mean, you're right, but then when I talked to the town attorney, technically they went and got approval, but they weren't supposed to change that 50 foot.
Okay, but because they signed off on that and the drawing, so I didn't even go back to do that because for two things. First, I didn't think I was going to have to because they signed off on the drawing, and then and I must have misunderstood you, but I thought when we were coming back for new instead of existing, then we could address that. And if that's what you're saying now, that's fine. I just really can't afford to lose parking because, I'll just see how it, if you guys want another one or no? Does anybody want it? Or you guys are all right? If I did, just so you understand, I can't guarantee, I don't know what the best place how are you? The best way for me to do it yet. Because trailers are come in different sizes. They're not like cars where most of them are similar. Some of them are very small, some of them are larger. So I would never put them by the street. That being said, so it may work out better to change the directions. Also being said, is the plantation, I went down and looked at Crest, I looked at everything else there, all the vegetation. If that's what you want, I'm happy to put trees in. I didn't think you would want trees. I thought you would want more, like I did rhododendrons, and we're gonna do daylilies, which don't get affected by the salt from the street, that sort of thing. But if you'd rather me put some trees there, I have no problem putting trees there.
It's not trees, the bushes are great. Because the idea is that you want and actually in our new regs that we're going to talk about when you leave, but what we're looking at is putting in buffers and fencing using vegetation of 3 to 4 feet.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and since this thing is up a hill, so I think if it goes back, 25, 30 feet, and then you put that buffer, that'll be enough.
You mean get rid of some of the parking lot?
I'm just not going down that road right now, but a little bit, maybe a little bit. Right now you don't have 50 feet.
Right. Well, I didn't think I was going to need it.
No, I know that.
So
I think it's a compromise.
Okay. I also was going to do a wood style low fence, which I bought pictures of, and you can see in the folder, which is what. I think it's going to be good. I think it'll look nice. The bushes will hide it, and it's good for us. It's security-wise that people don't steal things. You know what I mean?
No way.
Imagine that. I know you may find it hard to believe, but there are those dishonest people around. If you knew how many people I've thrown out of there, the dealings going on in the back of the building on a regular basis were pretty impressive once I started moving in there. The fires they've been lighting, the guys. Let me see.
On this property?
Oh yeah, I found people.
Sleeping?
A lot of drug deals going on in this corner.
I had no idea. I always go to the pharmacy.
Yeah, see? Well, it's cheaper here.
I guess
you know
so.
What I mean? Yeah, depending on what you're looking for.
Okay, anyway, so given that, so you're talking about putting in some kind of like a security fence, like a chain link or a wood?
No, if you look right in there, and I would read the whole thing to you, but if you want to read it, he's got one.
Second to last. Is the fence.
Oh, I see.
So
yeah, look at that nice vegetation back there.
It's beautiful.
So this is what you want to do?
I'm gonna plant. Listen. I have a farm for a long time.
Oh,
I had
good.
a vegetable stand. We do a lot of plantings, all kinds of plantings. I'm happy to put. Listen, it's ugly. It's very ugly right now. Trust me, it is very ugly.
We agree.
I have taken out 10 dumpsters of just dead stuff. I have taken out, cut down. Just dead trees, truckloads and truckloads and truckloads. It's so overgrown and hasn't been cleaned. So there's about 8 years of leaves piled up in the whole back. Where the drains, we had to go in, take all the storm drains out just to clean them out because it's been packed with stuff. The water guy came to turn the water on; they couldn't even get to it.
So right now there's a fence here. So you're going to put your parking back there too. So you can push this back a little bit, and still get the same number of cars.
Well. Yeah, I'm gonna that stockade fence is pretty ugly, and I just thought we would just remove it in the back. I'm not the stockade, the chain link, because I think it's kind of ugly and it's unnecessary.
We agree.
Yeah, that's just, and that will come out, and we will certainly move stuff around. You know what I mean? And for me to move stuff back right now, if it's gonna take,
that'll work.
Do that,
you got a lot more space in here than like in here, for instance. So if you did that space back there, this thing can go back, probably almost 3/4 of that space.
Right. I mean, yeah, I guess I'll have to do some measuring. Again, once we move stuff in there and figure out what fits best where, trust me, I don't want this place to look bad. I mean, I want it to look good, and I want people to drive by and go, "That's beautiful." I mean, that's what, the
Yeah,
whole
we're
idea.
all on the same page.
Absolutely. I mean, we're not, we're not in for ugly. We're in for nice. The plan. I mean, it makes me crazy every time I look at the building. But all I can do, I can tell you that just since I've been there, everybody that pulls in goes, "Nice job, keep it up." So we're just working outside, and then the weather kind of slowed us down. But
So again, I think this is, well, you're telling me 16. I think it's around 20, but whatever. So if this could go back, 10 feet, it's not gonna go that far back. And because you're up a hill, it's not like you're gonna be able to see what's going on there. And it would look a lot better on the street, and that's what we're trying to take care of too.
Okay. Yep.
This is part of our gateway, I'm sure.
Trust me, it's going to look way better than it has for the past 8 years.
Yeah, that's a different subject. I agree.
I mean, it's going to look great when we plant it and we do the flowers are going to look awesome. I think the fence is going to look great.
Yeah, I agree.
I got 2 guys in town that do a lot of plantings, and they already came by. We're going to have to do a lot of cleanup of just the curb line. It's just a mess, but yeah. And I talked to Orange Fence, who does a lot of work for me, and they recommended it's low, it's inobtrusive. And
Yeah, this is better than I thought you were gonna. That's great. I like that.
I'm glad.
There's an issue here,
Yeah,
big issue,
yeah.
as to whether or not a public hearing is necessary.
That's what he said.
Yeah,
That's what
exactly.
council has advised us.
Yeah, well, actually, I talked to Chris. We're going for a new application, and
But
we didn't need to come for a public hearing.
That's not what the attorney said.
Yeah, I understand what the attorney said, but our process is not to need a public hearing. Terry, you want to weigh in on this?
You want my advice instead of your attorney's advice?
I asked for the attorney's advice. He said you hold a public hearing. I mean, we'd certainly like to accommodate this gentleman, but I mean, why would you ask for the attorney's advice and not take it? Are you
Okay,
an
actually,
attorney?
we asked for the attorney advice on something specific as far as whether this should stay there.
Well, read what he said. I just read it.
I read it.
Okay. And I just read it now when I walked in. And his advice is you need to hold a public hearing. So are you going against his advice as the chairman of this board?
Okay, excuse me. So, Chris, would we normally need a public hearing if we were going for a special permit?
If it's a special permit, it requires a public hearing.
Okay, so that's not what we had talked about.
Is it a special or is it I thought it wasn't a special permit.
the way and I'm not questioning, I'm just reading what it says in the opinion. And the opinion specifically says that A, it doesn't fall under the original use permit. And B, it doesn't fall in with the permitted use of that district, the GB district.
Well, it's retail.
Wholesale and retail stores, public, or it doesn't, he's saying it has to fall in either under wholesale and retail, or public garage for the storage and repair of automobiles. Neither of these uses accurately reflects the proposed. I'm just reading.
I understand.
I'm just reading. And therefore, it needs a special, it's a special application which requires a public hearing. The problem I have is, once we have this from town council, what do? Disregard it. That's my problem.
Can I just,
Hold on one second. But wouldn't this be considered a permitted use on our regulations right now?
I think that's what the question was that Alan was just reading from. The town council was looking.
Town council is saying that it doesn't fall under the special permit. It's not an automobile.
Well, no, he's saying neither, he goes through it and, I'm going to read it here. He's saying that the proposed use does not fall within the permitted uses in a GB district per table 3.1.2.2. That's in effect what he's saying. I mean,
Yeah, right.
that's my problem.
I forgot to kind of call it out.
Okay? If he didn't say anything, that's one thing, but he specifically says it does, the proposed use, neither of these uses, listed uses accurately reflect the tenant's proposed uses. And therefore, it doesn't fall within.
Well, my
the
understanding is
permitted-
that what he's asking for isn't a permitted use under the special permits.
No, I understand that, but
Okay.
he's saying it's not even within the permitted uses as listed in the table, and therefore a special application has to be made, which then requires a public hearing. I'm just reading this, I have nothing to do, I didn't draft this.
Who drafted it, by the way? I don't see anything.
Yeah, I know, don't you love that?
I mean, this is from Corporation Counsel. Who? Do we know?
I received it
Special
from,
counsel?
I received it from Jerry Whiter by email.
Okay. But I'm just saying, it doesn't have a name as to who did it. Usually you sign off.
Yeah,
Null and void.
Well, the unfortunate thing is you don't fit within the zoning regs as they say according to council. I mean, it's not, the issue isn't with you,
I understand.
I mean, not at all, not even with respect to what you're going over. I'm sorry I got here late, but family issue. We want to accommodate you, obviously, within our powers, and once we get, council opinion,
Right.
we sort of need to abide by it, because I don't think we can pick and choose when we do and when we don't want to abide by it.
I was under the assumption that the reason that they were asking the town council was just if I could use the existing, or if it was just gonna be a new application. So that's why, I wouldn't even have bothered,
Well, it says.
I thought, so in other words, since we waited for that,
can
that
We got a
didn't-
hearing in another 2 weeks, so
Garage for storage.
we have a meeting in another 2 weeks. But they talk about original use permit, and they're trying to see if you fit within that. And apparently, that's not what he feels, okay? And it's otherwise not permitted within the way the zoning regs read. So henceforth, I guess the conclusion here, I'm not giving the opinion, but as Alan just said, reading from it, it would appear that since it doesn't fall in either one of these, if it doesn't fit there, then you need an application and a public hearing for the zoning regs.
okay.
I'm not really sure why I'm supposed to
So-
fix things.
Nothing I can do.
Again, it would have been nice, you just got it today, Tim?
No.
You got it at the same time you did,
Yeah.
Day before.
within a day.
Wednesday, no.
I mean, this is the first time I've seen it, is what I'm
Yes,
saying. It would have been nice,
We
so
immediately
we didn't have to
distributed it.
inconvenience this gentleman.
You got it 2 days ago.
No, I didn't email it.
I didn't get it.
No,
you
How do
didn't
you
email
know
it?
I got
I
it?
didn't
We just got
email
it today.
to them. I
We just
emailed
got it right
them.
now, when
I'm
I walked
sorry,
in
I
here.
thought you emailed it to everybody.
No,
No, I emailed
we
it
only
to
got
you.
one.
Oh, well, that sucks.
I got it, but I definitely didn't read it the way you read it, or interpret it that way. I interpreted it as that we would go new, not special, instead of existing. And existing, that was the first question. The last time we were here, we were saying, could it fall under existing? And then that was the question that I thought we were supposed to get from town council.
All right, so I guess we have to go to a public hearing, I'm sorry. We were trying to.
So we can consider this a formal app, could we not, then, and just set it up for the public hearing? I would think we could do that.
What did you say?
You already had an application
I
that was
understand.
let me finish. You already had an application that was submitted, so you can consider this a modification of what was submitted to you, and then you've already received that at your regular meeting on March 6th. So you have to start a hearing within 65 days from when you receive it, so you have a meeting in 2 weeks. So I'll get on the stick and put legal notices out.
2 weeks is sufficient time for you to notice.
You can't do it any closer than 2 days, and you have to do it a minimum of 10 days in advance. So if I have to publish tomorrow or Saturday, we'll get it in.
Bring out all those people who are going to be in favor of the application.
That's not a problem.
It's gonna be the same number of people.
So,
Have the application materials.
Continued site work permitted on the property in
You
the
can clean up his property.
Well, I mean, I already leased it. That's the way I looked at it. Like I was just clean. I mean, I have another, you know,
I mean, he's taking a risk.
basically,
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to suggest
No,
that
no.
it's not. I'm just.
Oh, I understand.
As long as he doesn't start any of the uses that are covered by,
As long as he doesn't
that he's requesting.
start putting trailers out there.
All the cleanup when the snow leaves, I'm sure is perfectly appropriate.
I don't think anybody's gonna complain about making it better.
No.
You know, I mean, and quite frankly, that's what we've been wanting to do anyway, because it's bothering me way more than it's bothering you, because I'm paying for that dumpster. So,
Well,
you
think
know.
of it this way, the original way it looked at, we would have normally continued till our next meeting. So we're trying to accommodate you as best we can. It looks like we got a little roadblock here, but we can still get you to where you would have normally been.
All right, so let me ask you a question, because I don't very much understand it, but, so if your next meeting is in 2 weeks, could I actually get approved in that, on that day?
Yes, you may.
So you're actually better off, because if this misunderstanding had occurred and you had come to that meeting,
Then we would have put it.
we would have still been further along, we would have had to move it further ahead.
Listen, I come here for the entertainment value of Ernie's Pizza anyway, so. That's fine. I mean, listen, am I psyched? Absolutely not. Of course, I'm trying to get out of a place that I'm, nobody's happy about it, and I'm not gonna, I get it. It's gotta, whatever it is, it's gotta be, what, is that a definite date already set?
First Monday of the month.
First Monday?
Mhm.
Okay,
April 3rd. 7:30 in here.
okay. So, I guess we don't have any, there's no option anyhow, right? You guys can't vote and say, Bobby, go to work.
If it was just you and me, there would be an option, but it isn't. So.
I feel the love.
Chris, we have everything we need, though?
Yeah, actually, is there anything else? Terry, are you good with, am I good with lights? Did you see anything?
I just received it.
Okay.
We'll review it and if we have some response that's needed from you. I must tell you that your new career as a landscape architect and engineer, that's not typically the kind of site plan that you receive.
Exactly.
So my suggestion is that our zoning regulations have a provision where the zoning enforcement officer may waive certain requirements of site plans if this is all that we have to work with, and if the chair is acceptable to that, to the chair, you can apply to the zoning enforcement officer for a waiver of certain requirements, unless you want a more vigorous site plan that might.
I think you just have to mark it up. We gave you some hints what we're going to be looking for, so you can mark it up. I think I don't have a problem with that.
So
I just
why
gotta
do you
figure-
say the chair and not the
I need
commission?
to figure out if your steps are bigger than mine as well.
The waiver?
He doesn't have power. We have the power, not him.
What? The waiver of the site plan?
The
Terry's
adequacy-
words were, I think,
I give some
not
deference to our chair about the adequacy of a site plan, because it would be unfortunate to get to 2 weeks from now and not have a engineered site plan as our regulations require, and have another hurdle to go through.
I'm just talking about the pulse of the board, Terry. I'm not, or the commission. I'm not talking about,
So this thing is from 2012. You can probably go back to who did this and tell them what you want to put on it, and they'll put on it. It's not like you have to go get a new survey out there. You've already got the survey, and they just add things onto it.
Got it. Got it. Anything else that anybody can think of that I might need, or should I bring Ernie's, or should I go to Sally's next week? Consiglio.
We're on TV. We want to be careful.
I guess, only the celebration and if you get your approval.
That'd be great.
You can go
So
back.
I'll get the plan done. Do you guys, anybody else want maps? You want this?
May I have, you have an extra map? there?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, so that we can be clear as to what the applicant might want to show on this stamp plan, is that what we're looking for? we should probably indicate what the original 1970 50-foot line is, right?
Yes.
We should probably have an indication of where, and by the way, my perception is that approval that we have for the 17 to 22 vehicles for sale is probably a poignant thing to build upon, because I don't think that under any imagination that the way you described your business, the way I visited your business, that you can tolerate a 17 to 22 items for sale on that property.
Absolutely not.
So I think that's another touchstone that you'll be asking you to revise that which was last approved of, and that information comes from a BZA zoning variance for signs, and that discussion of 17 to 22 things for sale was embedded in the attorney's presentation when they were seeking signs.
When they were seeking signs.
Signs that were above the zoning requirement. So I mean, what they relied upon then is the scope, and this represents a considerable enlargement of scope. And so I think that one would want to represent graphically, the original approval required plantings along Amity Road. It involved plantings between buffering of uses. All that's a good mojo to be able to show the commission that it's in the community's interest to have this facility there. Is there anything else that you want represented on the plan so that we can be clear?
I think he needs to go over and make sure that his signage meets our regs, the signage.
Okay, so certainly indicate any signage that is needed for your business. And again, I'd like to have you consider imagining yourself as a success. Because what's really difficult is coming back here after you are and you put up much more than you're planning. Now, don't take this opportunity to say, I'm gonna only have 22 trailers there. And
I told you last time, absolutely, I mean, way more than that. I mean, I've got more than 100 on the lot now, but they don't all, some are little, some are big, so it's, it doesn't, space-wise, it's.
some are low, some are high.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I just ask one of the questions, maybe it was answered before I came in, are we going within the 50 feet now? How many feet back are we going now?
Well, that's what we were
Well, we're not.
discussing. We're trying.
We've stopped talking about it.
Right.
But right now, there's a 50-foot.
No, I'm well aware of that, yeah. So I'm
That's-
just wondering if you're changing that. That's
Do
all I'm
what-
saying.
This is a new application,
That's
so
right.
what he's
Yeah.
proposing to you
What I'm-
is how he wishes to use the site now.
Right.
So he's not
I'm asking how much the setback is, because I'm not.
All they're gonna
There-
use
There
is
was
what-
a permit that was issued that required that there be no parking within 50 feet of the property line. He is now applying to you for a new permit. So he needs to apply to you for how he wishes to use the site, and then it's your determination whether or not what he is proposing is something that you wish to approve or you wish to modify.
I'm aware of that, and I wanted to know what the number was. Thank you, Chris. And he's
You're
telling me
welcome.
what the number is.
The asphalt would be comes right to here, and this is where the curb is, so I was just trying to keep that curb on. That's what I was trying to do. 50 foot would put me, I'd lose more than half the parking.
Understood.
That's
And I assume you were changing that, I just didn't know to what level you were. Okay, great.
I think there's some business practicality that has to be considered here, because go ahead, put the trailers right along Amity Road, and when the snow plows come through on Amity Road, you'll have a lot of work to do. So you have to consider all that. Leave a snow shelf for yourself so you don't hurt yourself.
I've been doing this over 10 years. I've done it. I ran a place in Northford called the Trailer Depot. It's probably the biggest trailer place in the state. They average 300 trailers on their lot. It's on Route 17. It's very similar to Route 63, 45 mile an hour speed limit, state road, trucks plow.
Same thing, did a buffer, I know, it's not like I'm new to it and I totally understand it, and trust me, I don't want salt spread all over stuff because it just wrecks things. So, obviously, and in the winter, our inventory is a lot lower. We're a very seasonal business. We're going into spring. Landscapers, excavators, equipment guys, people that are going gardening. It's like everybody comes out of hibernation in the spring. So that right now we load up, we increase our inventory. Then toward the fall, we have April, May, and June are our 3 busiest months. Then in the fall, we will have another push. And then in the winter time, we lower our inventory for several reasons. Because we're slower, we're paying for all that inventory. So if anybody in business understands you don't want to pay for things that aren't moving. It's not good for business. So you want to lower it. So I may have 150 now, and I may have 70 in the summer. In the fall, going into the winter. So obviously, it's definitely seasonal. Supply and demand, as always said, when it's, people, you can't sell it if you don't have it. So now we would have it, we would get, our spring inventory grows, and then as season goes, and obviously it lowers, and it's, that goes with all the things we do recreationally.
So this was a conversation about the setback, if any, from the road. I do think that there is a distinction between placing products that you have for sale and the employee and visitor parking, which can certainly be located in areas where you might not want to have, a trailer. So you can say that might be helpful to you, because I think that the commission is interested in where your product is going to be displayed and how the property looks. But the comings and goings of your employees and where they park, your happy customers, and your other customers.
They're all happy.
So I think that might assist you in thinking about your plan.
Also the building.
Well, I think that you want to go faster than slower. Tell us what you're going to do about that dreadful building
Okay.
in your plans.
I didn't get to read all I spent all this time last night writing this down. Nobody wanted to hear it. The building. Here's what I'm going to do. It's a wood facade. It's coming down.
What's coming down?
The whole it's a metal building.
Right.
It's a Butler building.
Right.
And that wood, basically put a wood facade on it, and it was board and batten, and it's.
You can wait till the public hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You want to reflect upon this.
Yeah,
And
we're just telling you to be prepared for that.
Right. For the meeting.
For the questions about the building.
That's
It may be
gonna be
one and
cool.
the same, but it's
Yeah.
about the questions about the building.
Yeah. The building's going to look way better than it does now.
Tell us all about it in April.
Size of the sign on the building, that's not in your materials. You say you're gonna put one on the building, but the regs talk about the sizes of the signs. So
Yeah, Chris had given me all the signs, so I just went by the rate. There wasn't. I didn't write it down because you can't go bigger than, I forgot what the size was for the building, but I'll.
But it has to be written in your application, actually,
Okay.
because we vote on what's written in the application,
Okay.
right?
Well, actually, the sign permits are issued through as zoning permits or building permits,
But-
unless it's a permit that specifically has to come to you. So say you wanted a second wall sign or a second freestanding sign or something like that, then it would come to you.
Right.
So you review it in terms of the aesthetics and how you're looking at it, but the actual permit for it, if one is needed, is issued through the zoning department, as long as it doesn't, under the table, require action by you. So you've been lately doing a second wall sign, which requires action by you.
Right.
But certainly you like to look at what the colors are gonna be and the style.
But again, the enthusiasm, is for you to imagine what it takes for you to be a successful businessman on Amity Road in Woodbridge, selling trailers, and then ask for that.
Then I'd like to start working there tomorrow. That's what I like to do. That's what I'm asking for. For all you nice people to let me go to work and make that place beautiful. So, yeah, no, I understand. I get it. I will, I'll write the specific size of that sign of the building, yeah. The sign on the pole is not gonna change, and I think it's
I mean,
on
I mean,
there.
a lot of what you can do is just notes. I mean, you just have to, I mean, you probably should, it's easy to go back, since this is 2012, this is pretty easy to go back and get it
Right.
drawn up, but you have to talk about your building and what it's gonna look like.
You
the
might
street and
want to,
everything.
you might want to check with zoning as to other ways in which people are putting these types of applications and look at a different iteration as to what the maps look like. Because they've been submitted to us in other events.
Yeah, no, they've given
You
me
know what I mean?
everything.
And as long as you're comfortable with all of that, it'll help us because we're used to seeing certain detail and certain delineation. So we're not asking you to do anything unusual.
Okay. As long as we're talking about it before I leave, if everyone's mentioning color, I mean, is there anything you guys want or don't want to see? I mean, I was really looking for hot pink on the building. Is that gonna be an issue?
It would go
Pepto-Bismol.
great with Surf Pro next door.
Nice bright green.
It's got the orange and green accents with that.
Well, but you have to say their building looks awesome. They did a
It
nice
does,
job.
it looks really good.
They did a nice job with the building. I'm happy, I should give you all the business cards so you can see the colors on our logo are basically gray, black, and with red. Am I gonna do the building red? I was not intending on doing that. I was gonna do like a gray, like a just mellow, it's not gonna stick out, it's gonna blend in.
Are the garage doors gonna stay there?
Hmm?
All the garage doors are staying?
Yeah, the garage doors they're gonna be changed eventually. They're just not now because it's like, it can't be done, but the doors will probably, when I get down to the doors, do we need them all? Right now, there's 7. So
A lot of doors.
it's a huge expense. The one nice thing is that the natural light's nice when you're working in the shop. It's gonna look nice as long as it's clean. You know what I mean? And I have no problem. We deal with a lot of customers that, they like to see, what's going on. We don't allow them in the shop, but anyway. So colors, anything, nobody's really, okay.
Yeah, well, if you bring a color we don't like, we'll tell you. It sounds like what you said was probably gonna work, so. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, you guys.
Thank you. See you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.